So let's get started with game 1 between the starter set, the very first one, and Shobu's fire deck, which is on the right. This is the first quarterfinal of the Precon bracket tournament that I am running on my channel. And there might not be much time to talk about introductions here because of course both of these decks play fire and they play a whole bunch of 2-drops, and there we go, the first creature on the board is a Brawler Zyger for Shobu's deck. Let's see how that works out. Now, starter set responding with Crimson Hammer, a nice, neat little way to get rid of Brawler Zyger, so currently not much happening. I think in general, a long game would favor the starter set more, just because Shobu's deck is very like all-out aggressive, and you know, even not starting with Deadly Fighter Braid Claw is already bad for Shobu's fire deck. But let's see what happens. So a Feather Attacker Horvath, Immortal Baron Vork, and the Deadly Fighter Braid Claw, already 3 creatures on board, not looking bad, not looking bad. If the board stays like this, then Shobu's deck can break 3 shields next turn, but there's a Laura Giga, a blocker. That's one advantage that the starter set has, is that it does run blockers, and also Fireswapper Burning Hellion, which can deal with anything that is on the board. Tornado Flame in mana and no summon, no play this turn from Shobu's deck. I guess there's just nothing to do. That Tornado Flame would have been good this turn, but of course can't play it at 4 mana, and Deadly Fighter is forced to attack and he will die to Laura Giga. And not breaking any more shields because of course Fireswapper could swing back and clear the board. But now there's another blocker in Emerald Grass and Super Explosive Volcanodon. And now the board control is fully in the favor of the starter set. So Shobu's deck not looking too pretty, but let's see, maybe there's a good play. It seems like there's 2 solid options in hand. Let's see what happens. Charging a Barbaro and playing a Tornado Flame. Well, that's kind of one turn too late, but okay, getting rid of the Firesweeper Burning Hellion, but still can't attack, because there would be a massive swing back, clearing everything, and also Emerald Grass is a 3000 power blocker that Shobu's deck can get past. But Emerald Walker Ulherion is a powerhouse right now. He gets powered up if there's a human, but never mind, it gets tapped by Miel Vizier of Lightning and immediately destroyed. So Shobu's deck not allowed to have any fun, and wow, starter deck going for shields. I guess that makes sense, because I don't see how Shobu's deck can take advantage of those 2 cards from shields, given that there's 2 blockers and 4 shields remaining. There's a Mini Titan Get into Rotus, getting rid of at least something. Let's see, I would probably choose the Laura Giga here. It makes sense because you don't really need that blocker. And now Feather Attacker, he is powered up because there's an Armaloid on board and he can kill Volcanodon without being blocked by Emerald Grass. But of course Emerald Grass can swing back, right, because Feather Attacker only has Power Attacker, so while he's defending, he can just die to Emerald Grass, there we go. And will there be more shields? I would have maybe hold off on, never mind. Yeah, there's 0 shields left on Shobu's side, so it's quite unlikely that that deck will be able to deal with the 1, 2, 3, 4 attackers that the starter set has on board. And let's see, yeah, just playing a bunch of creatures, Brawler Zyger and Deadly Fighter. This board would look solid for next turn for Shobu's deck. There's 5 creatures, but of course there's not gonna be a next turn. And game 2, let's see if Shobu's deck can make a comeback. Starter set did feel quite dominant in game 1, but of course Shobu's deck can always steal games by going Deadly Fighter into 2-drop, but no Deadly Fighter again. That really hurts. No 1-drop in both games for Shobu's deck, so not great, but let's see what happens. There's a Brawler Zyger. This is the exact same start that we had last game. Let's see if this time it works out better for Shobu's deck. And this time we have a 2-drop in Immortal Baron Vork, the classic Mexican standoff between these two, whichever attacks first dies, right? But now, Browser evolves into Armored Cannon Barbaro, which is Not a very strong card, but at the very least it doesn't die to Immortal Barenborg, so it can take a shield for free, I guess, but it will die to Golden Wing Striker if it decides to attack. So unless there's a removal for Golden Wing Striker, which there doesn't appear to be, then yeah, Barbara can't really swing for more shields. Maybe it could and then crack back with the Volcanodon, but yeah, that feels a bit awkward. And there's a Volcanodon from starter set as well. It does appear like both decks will now just try to build a board, and Dragite coming along from Shobu's deck. That guy must attack each turn, so we will start to see some attacks. It seems like a Moonlight Flash from... oh, never mind. Okay, changed his mind and went for Meteorosaur instead to destroy the super explosive Volcanodon. But now we know that a Moonlight Flash is coming, and yeah, Moonlight Flash is just gonna clear the entire board if he decides to play it, so it's not looking too good for Shobu's deck. Maybe starter deck has an even better option. No, there's the Moonlight Flash, and of course now like Volcanodon can destroy Dragite for free, Golden Wing Striker can destroy Barbaro, and Vor can destroy Deadly Fighter, and now there's complete control for the starter deck again. There's 4 creatures to 0. Meteorosaur helps, 3 creatures to 1 now, but still it seems like a massive advantage at this point for the starter set. And some blockers coming along as well, so there's no surprise aggression. And no swings. Mini Titan Get, again he must attack each turn if able, so at the very least we'll see some action. Let's see what happens, and there's a Holio. Okay, so clearing the board again. And now I would probably go for some shields with a starter deck, but apparently not. No attacks. I guess there's no harm in waiting to build a bigger board. Now we have Lock, and yeah, there's 4 attackers, and he decides to attack, which I think is fine. Oh, just 1 shield, interesting. Setting up lethal for next turn with 5 attackers, but Meteorosaur will take 1 attacker out. Maybe it's even correct to just take Laura Giga out and just try to swing for some shields and hope for a trigger, but it's hard anyway. So Year and Fear Fang, this puts him at 6 attackers against just 4 shields, so there would have to be 2 triggers, 2 Tornado Flames in shields. And let's see how many there are. And it seems like there's none. No shield triggers, so there we go. So, a quick game, but also rather interesting. Starter deck winning out against Shobu's deck, which was maybe unexpected, but when you take a look at the deck lists, you see that the starter set has way more tools, it has some tapping, it has some blockers, so in the end it prevailed. Of course, this was the first quarterfinals of the Precon bracket tournament on my channel. If you want to check that out from the start, you can do that. I'll leave a link somewhere in the description, of course, and I'll put up the updated bracket on screen in a few seconds, but if you haven't seen the other games and don't want to get spoiled, now would be a good time to close the video. See ya!